Hello everyone, just here to film my weekly update, unstuff my wallet and get ready for the next week. It's raining pretty hard right now, so if you can hear the rain, I apologize, but there's not much I can do about that. So I'm going to start by resetting my wallet. I've only got a 10 in here, so I'll set that aside. And for my change, I'm only going to take the larger amounts out. So these 1 yen coins, these are just one each. These are my yennies. Yennies are going to stay in there. The ones, the 10 yen coin. Yeah. Actually, most of it is pretty low value coins this week. So these are all staying in my wallet for next week. This 150, I will put into my rollover. So 1150. And these coins are just going back in. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be using this, which is the equivalent of $100. So I don't have any change for this right now, so I'm just going to put the whole thing in my wallet and then take out the extra 50 when I get some change in there. So my wallet is set for now until I have to take out the extra 50. I had some money in here that had rolled over for the last few weeks, but I just took that out because I made a purchase for some reusable like cloth napkins for menstruation purposes, and I just thought it was a better investment to go ahead and spend that money now. So I took that money out. I only have the change in here for now, but it's okay. Put my 10 in here. The 150 I'll put into this little bag of change that's only relatively high value coins. Then my internet bill has come, so I've got my money that I put aside pulled out so I can pay it today when I go to the convenience store. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but in Japan, most of your bills are paid at the convenience store if they come in paper. So that's how I do it. You just pay in cash at a convenience store. So I'm going to put these in my bag, and I hope to get this paid off today if I don't forget. But I've got a few days left until it's actually due, so it's all right. Last week, I talked about writing down my expenses and kind of tracking how I spend my money. This week, I honestly fell completely off the horse. I didn't write down... I wrote down a little bit, only until the 23rd, and it's now March 1st. So honestly, I kind of messed up on that, but I've been really busy. I made it to the final round of interviews for a job I really want. I've got the interviews tomorrow. I hope that I get this job. I don't know when I'll know. I could know as soon as tomorrow. Sometimes these final interviews are basically just a formality. In Japan, I'm not sure why, but basically every job, the final interview will be meeting the CEOs, and that's usually just kind of like, hey, welcome aboard almost. They just want to do a final like vibe check, but it's not necessarily like that. It can be an actual interview. It could be really grueling. So I don't want to like count my chickens before they hatch or whatever. I'm not trying to count on having gotten that job, but I'm feeling pretty confident right now. And if I get that job, I'm going to be pretty thrilled, and I will definitely update here because it's going to really change my budgeting situation a lot. But yeah, I actually I don't have many updates this week because I've just been really busy getting ready for this interview. Last week I mentioned that I will be talking a little bit more about my circumstances and how much money I need to live off of. I know that varies a lot depending on where you live and the cost of living, so I'm going to explain that a little bit because I think it's hard to get a sense of what living in Japan entails. So some information, basic information about me. I'm single, so I live alone. Then a small apartment right now. I'm spending about, again, remember I'm roughly converting yen into dollars. It's actually 43,000 yen, but $430 a month on rent. This includes also includes water. My water bill is factored in just on a flat rate. Then on top of that, I have to pay electric and gas. Some places don't have gas hookups. My place has a gas hookup only for the water boiler, I guess. The water heating situation is based on gas. So that's basically just how hot my baths are. Electric is, everything else. So this one can be pretty expensive because that's what's running my heat or air conditioning. So in winter, this is sometimes as high as like $100. Winter and summer, up to $100. Gas can be anywhere from like $5 to 15 to 20 or 30. So let's go ahead and put like 25. I don't use that as much. I don't take baths or showers that are as hot as the average person. So maybe that's why I can keep this pretty low. But this is a pretty high estimate overall, but I'll go ahead and put this in. Then food costs. This is the problem. If I could actually cook in a more expensive situation, I wouldn't have to spend that much money on food. Food can be expensive here, but I think that's everywhere. Like some things are more expensive than others. But if you want to eat a healthy diet that's not too expensive, it is definitely possible. So that's a little bit harder for me to calculate. I could probably, if I really tried, get by on like $200, $300 a month in terms of food and doing all my food prep. But it's kind of hard for me to guess because I'm not really a good cook and things. So let's put 300-ish. Then insurance and all of that tends to come out of your pay automatically, but usually health insurance is a little less. It's like $190 or so a month, at least where I live. I think that's I think something like that. And then you've got to pay into the pension, the public pension system. And that's about the same. I think maybe more like $170. I might be a little bit wrong on these. I haven't really looked at them recently. And it depends. I think it partially depends on your income. So I could be getting this wrong. Or this could change, I guess. But this is about the full payment that I have done in the past. So as you can see here, it's not that expensive. I don't have a car, so no car. I don't have a car or car insurance type payments to do. I do have to do transportation costs, but for work, pretty much every company is going to reimburse you for your money spent traveling to work. So I don't have to pay for that myself. But my personal transportation costs, of course, that depends on how much I'm doing. Like if I'm going to go across the country on a vacation, then it's going to be a lot more. But if I'm just getting around town, meeting friends for dinner every now and then, it could be as low as like $30 a month to like $100 if I'm doing a lot. So it's not a whole lot. Like you can think of that as gas money, I guess. But I don't use a car. What else? Oh, internet and phone. Internet is pretty cheap in most places. I pay about, actually it's more like 33. And phone is about 19 or so. So internet can be cheaper than this or it can be a little bit more. It depends on the area that you live in, really. And phone, there are a lot of like lower end providers these days, and I use one of these lower end providers. So it's only about 19 per month. It changes because it's based on how much data I use. Then sometimes it's up to 25. I think 25 is the maximum. But there are way more expensive services in Japan. Some people are paying like 75 a month. I don't really know why. So taking these numbers at like the average range would give you a monthly cost just for the bare minimum. Okay, so roughly putting all this together, you could see a living cost of about $1,320 per month. And you could cut down on unnecessary transportation. You could, of course, probably find a way to cut down on food. I put in 300 as kind of a random estimation. So living a not too crazy budgeted lifestyle, I think, and just covering like food, water, rent, etc. About $1,320, I think. This seems pretty realistic to me. So I think that the cost of living in Japan is not that bad, maybe compared to other places. Like, I live in the city center and I pay only $430 a month. And although my room is very small, I know places like, for example, in New York, a place like mine would cost 4 or 5 times the amount. So it's definitely, it's all relative, right? Wages here are not that high in general, but the cost of living is also not that high. So if I get this full-time job, I'm not, like, I guess I'll be a low-income stuffing, but in terms of living in Japan, it's not really that low. It's pretty average, I guess. But we'll see. I just wanted to give you guys an idea. I do have to spend some money on medications. Not a whole lot, though. I have bad allergies, and I take hormonal birth control for hormone reasons. So there's a few other costs that I have to add to this, but not a whole lot. Yeah. And do dental, of course. Every now and then I get my teeth cleaned. So there's small things I have to add to this, and clothes, etc. But I feel like I could probably put away a good amount of money. Anyway, I hope by the time I'm editing this, I might actually have good news on the job situation. I can't wait for that. I know these videos are not very exciting because I can't really be stuffing any envelopes when I have like no cash, but I hope that in the future I'll be able to look back on these and see my progress. So thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully I have some good news soon, and see you. Bye.